I defended people in Korea, Okinawa, mainland Japan, even Guam and in the Philippines. And so I've just been doing it now coming on 20 years if I include my time as a senior defense counsel in Asia. So no, I've never had it where it's hurt my ability to defend someone. It's hurt my ability to sleep sometimes. It's hurt my ability to be home with my family.
Sure.
It's hurt a lot of things that it's taken a toll on me to be able to do that. But when you're paid to do that and you want to be in that position, you have to put the client first. And it's never impacted my ability to represent someone.
All right, Tim, we're back for another episode of Off the Record. I'm looking forward to this one because you are just getting off some travels. You've been to Europe, you've been to the Middle East, and now I want to hear some travel stories. So what we're going to be talking about during this podcast is lessons from the trenches, things that you've learned, whether it's personal or even things that you've seen professionally. So has there ever been a moment on the road where you thought that there's no way this is happening right now? This is something that shouldn't be happening. Is there any kind of story you can come up around that theme?
I don't know if it's anything that's like that, but it's I mean, I've landed in a location where airlines have totally lost my luggage. I have no idea where they're at. So I'm traveling somewhere. I was in Turkey recently, and I landed, and I'm in Istanbul, waiting around for the luggage to come off the belt, and you get that sinking feeling when your luggage just isn't there, and you need to be someplace. You have to have a suit and so on. Then you get to the counter and there's the English barriers and people don't want to really help you much. And no one has a clue where your luggage is. The airline doesn't know. That people don't really seem to care. And hey, last time I checked, I'm a lawyer. I need a suit and I need a tie and I need shoes. And I can't just wear jeans and a button down shirt when I need to, be at work and representing people. So it's like now what do you do? And you have to start thinking quickly and say, okay, I can't just get upset over this. I need to fix the problem. And so now you're in a position where, okay, that morning I'm at a mall trying on suits and getting a suit made. I mean, like, I didn't expect to be in Turkey getting a suit made and saying, well, when do you need this by an hour, and saying, well, hey, to try to make sure one pant leg isn't bigger than the other. And, I'm a tall guy, I'm a big guy trying to get things that fit in a foreign country are often difficult. So it doesn't happen that often, but that just literally happened to me where I land and a couple hours later getting measured for a suit in Istanbul to, because I don't have what I need. And the airlines have no idea where your luggage is at. And yes, I'm United Global Service and they're supposed to take care of you, but it doesn't mean that they do. And they can't make miracles happen. Sometimes your bag just didn't make it or they can't find it. So now it's a day or two away and you need to, I guess, adapt, improvise, and overcome. And now you need to make all of that happen. I've certainly had that happen before. It doesn't happen very often, but you need to be able to overcome that, not freak out, get through it, and do it seamlessly.
On the court side of things, have you ever, when you're traveling, are there like horror stories of like, I'm here now, there's a complete change of events or agenda change that is very difficult to pivot to because of you're not at your office. Has there been a situation like that, or are these cases pretty well oiled machines that you know what to expect, or you know what to expect, but you haven't really had any bad experiences with the cases when it
You,
comes to traveling?
you never know what's going to happen. I've been in a situation where I've flown, and while I'm in the air to Korea, the commanding generals decide to dismiss the charges, and maybe that's permanently. Maybe they're going to re-prefer charge or do something later. So now I land in Seoul, and there's no more charges, and we're supposed to go to trial. And what God, if you could let me know like 12 hours ago or 20 hours
Right.
ago, and I would have
Yeah.
saved the client a lot of money and expense and travel. I've had that happen. I've showed up to a motions hearing or a trial, and now there's a discovery violation or new issues come up, and instead of being in trial for a week, that case gets continued. And so I'm supposed to be there for a week. The client spends a lot of money in traveling me there. And instead of doing the trial and new evidence comes up or some issue comes up inherently that we weren't anticipating, that you couldn't anticipate oftentimes, and trial gets continued. Now I need to rearrange my entire travel plan. And what becomes more difficult is, let's say I have multiple trials going on where I'm supposed to be in Korea one week, the following week I'm going to be in Japan, the following week I'm going to be in Hawaii. Well, if a trial gets continued and on Monday, now what? Now I need to change the entire travel plans, which is oftentimes difficult to do. And it's like, well, do I head home? Do I come back? Who's covering the cost of all of this? And that's a lot of things you have to work through. You just have to be very flexible in these cases, especially when you're traveling these long distances. Again, it's one thing if I'm going to, if traveling somewhere close, I'm traveling to a naval base in Florida or to Eglin Air Force Base in the Panhandle. Sure, I can come around, I can be back home in 2 hours. Well, I'm 20 something hours away, and I'm 20 hours and $10,000 away. So you have to be able to pivot pretty quickly and figure that out. And that's happened more times than you can even think about, where you anticipate one set of circumstances happening and another does. Or
Yeah.
the opposite can happen where a trial is scheduled for 1 week. And because oftentimes these prosecutors underestimate how long it will take to try a case, maybe it's Thursday and we're supposed to be done on Friday. They're still trying their case. And then, there's no way in hell we're going to be done in a week, but I have to be somewhere the following week. Then what? And they're like, well, Your Honor, we're ready to go. We can just push into next week. And I said, well, I can't.
Right.
And
Have
then,
have you
and then what?
have you come ac have you come across a situation where you go for you're somewhere for a week and you're actually end up being there for like a month?
Yeah, it happened last year in Okinawa. It was like the never-ending war, right? We were supposed to be there for a week in Okinawa for a trial, and there was some significant issues with the way the prosecutor was turning over discovery. They had turned over in over 10,000 pages of text messages to us last minute. And they were all in Puerto Rican slang, and we had to get all of them translated. And this one issue after another. And Ben and I were literally in Okinawa for the entire month. The case took over 3 weeks to try, and I was supposed to be there for 1 week. So I had 1 week blocked off. We got there the Wednesday before, and we spent the entire month in Okinawa, which it was supposed to be a week, week and a half. And so you need to be able to pivot to that, and people hire us for the ability to do that. Now, it took a hell of a lot of logistics and legwork. I literally continued other cases, moved to other trials with even things like hotels. You have a hotel for a week in May in Okinawa. It's their peak season. You can't, for a while, we didn't have a hotel. There were no more rooms available. So we had to jump hotels. I was changing hotels 3 times in 1 week, and that's with all my suits, everything with cordats,
Really
repacking, unpacking, just trying to get a hotel that can get us a week at a time, and we were there for almost a month. We had an exceptionally good result there, but you have to have the flexibility to do that. And if that happens in your case, and it can, you sure as hell don't want you to have the attorney's first time they're ever doing a case in Okinawa to be figuring this all out. I've heard of attorneys just leaving, saying, "Well, I can't," and they're leaving or trying to get released halfway through. You have to have the ability to see those types of cases through, and those are the risks that we take on when we do a case in Asia that clients just don't understand. And part of what you're paying for is our ability to, when things go wrong, we're going to be able to adapt to those and still win and still proceed forward and not just get bogged down in it, because it happens quite a bit. Again, we were in Okinawa for a month, the entire month of May, when I was supposed to be there for a week and a half.
Has travel ever put you in a position where your ability to defend somebody has been seriously at risk because of the travel?
I don't think so. Not anything I can remember. I mean, only because my entire career has been built on defending people traveling. Even when my last duty assignment was in Korea, I defended people in Korea, Okinawa, mainland Japan, even Guam and in the Philippines. And so I've just been doing it now, coming on 20 years if I include my time as a senior defense counsel in Asia. So no, I've never had it where it's hurt my ability to defend someone. It's hurt my ability to sleep sometimes. It's hurt my ability to be home with my family.
Sure.
It's hurt a lot of things that it's taken a toll on me to be able to do that. But when you're paid to do that and you want to be in that position, you have to put the client first. And it's never impacted my ability to represent someone. Although I've had to do a lot of personal sacrifices to do that, but it's part of what I've just chosen to do doing cases overseas.
Yeah, but as far as cases being at risk, that's never been an issue, it sounds like.
No,
Um,
it's never been an issue.
w- you do this a lot, so you're the person to ask. What's something that you only learn about being a defense attorney after defending somebody 6,000 miles away from home?
Yeah. I mean, you just have to anticipate the unexpected, and you have to be very self-sufficient and understand that no one's coming to rescue you, for example.
Mhm.
Think of yourself and you're in an austere environment and you're fighting a war or fighting a battle, and you have to understand that there's no resupply. No one's coming to rescue you. You have to be in a position where you are very self-sufficient. Everything you need, you pack and travel with you. And you're going to do that when you're in a different time zone in a different country where you leave the gate, there's a different currency, a different language, a different culture, and you have to be able to run your office and your business on the completely different side of the world and still be able to compartmentalize that and win a case. And it's much more difficult to do than people realize. And I think that's why you see so many people in our business and our profession specialize in they set up a shop outside their local base. They're not traveling. There are very few people who do what we do and travel all over the world. Part of it's exceptionally difficult to do, and it's exceptionally difficult to do over a long period of time. Again, I'm at 15 years of doing this as a civilian, and we just get better and better at it. And so you have to just understand that whatever you need to bring and provide yourself, because no one's coming to help you once you're that far away.